Hi, this is Nikki, and I'm here to share messages that I get from Spirit for all of us who are all on this journey to love and to reunite with our divine vibrational matches. And today I'm going to share a lovely story. So I did a healing for a lady yesterday, and she wrote me a gorgeous email back sharing a bit about her story and how the healing was crazy synchronous to her story. And so I'm going to share it because, again, it gives inspiration, hope, it's truly heartwarming, and again just shows how strongly the telepathic connection is becoming within this soul group. So before that, I have to share what the healing was. And so straight away when I started connecting to their energy, I heard, I've got chills, they're multiplying. And it's that song from Grease where she's gone through this huge transformation and she turns into like this, you know, this uber sexy woman that was always within, but she had suppressed it. And then I see ice, and it's a block of ice, and I see a cable. And funny enough, look how this is just a cable coming out of the ice, just like I've got a cable here. And I hear the Titanic, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. And then her twin says to me, he's sorry that he's been frozen. And he says that he was afraid to show his heart. And so I'm guided to do in some heart healing, grounding chanting. So in the Reiki, I do Holy Fire Reiki, but also Karuna Reiki. And part of the Karuna Reiki is to do chanting. So I was led to do that, and then I see the cable coming out of the ice block leads to an electric fire that she is stood by. And she turns on the fire and the ice melts. And underneath the ice is a teddy bear with a red ribbon around its neck. And it symbolizes that by doing that, he is gaining his strength and courage to come forward. And then I was guided, so this book, I saw the two dinosaurs and I saw the front cover of this book. So I also sent her a video of this book, which is basically the female dinosaur melts the dinosaur's ice cage. And if you follow my videos, then I've actually read out this story on the channel before. So this came through in her healing, and also the root chakra healing, and also the bear. So bear symbolism as well, and the bear is the big protector. So I sent it to her, and then she sent this back. This is why it's so crazy. So I'm going to share it because it is amazing. So thank you. I hope all is well with you. You are the first YouTube healer that I was guided to on my journey. And I just want you to know how much your love letter books have helped me keep the love in my heart. This is a pretty long response, but if you could take some time to get through it, I would be so humbled, and please feel free to share. The power of signs and synchronicities and telepathy and soul family is just too important. It wasn't easy forgiving my twin. The last thing he said to me was, "I feel so sorry for you," and the words pathetic and desperate. In the time we've known each other, I never had the chance to be with him romantically or intimately. We met as colleagues in late 2013, living in two different city locations, me in Melbourne and him in Sydney. But even from the beginning, I knew the sound of his voice and his name stuck with me when it first appeared via a work email. But then, I didn't know about twin flames or even angels, or spirits, or the universe, or intuition. Back then, with limited senses, I would have just called it a gut feeling, a knowing. But right away, as we got to know each other, everything about him and I clicked, and it was like we were the same person. Our chemistry, our connection was so strong, it was crazy. But then I found he was back then 21 and I was 31. And when we had that age conversation, I felt his heartbreak in his voice. Despite it, the connection still grew. I finally met him physically after 8 months or so when I went to Sydney for a concert. We'd organised, went to Sydney for a concert. We'd organised a Friday night drinks for not just us, but for all of our colleagues from Sydney. A couple of days prior to that, we had flirted so much on the phone, we had hinted at each other that we would hook up that night. On Friday night when I arrived, he'd called me gorgeous, and our eyes were on each other big time. We were getting a lot of crap that night from our colleagues. One guy who was very close to her twin, his name was C, even had said he could feel our energy, and you two need to hurry up and just kiss. Sorry, my dog Bowie is just... Bowie, off! Come here. Sit. Good boy. Sorry about that. So I finally met him physically after 8 months or so when I went to Sydney for a concert. We'd organised a Friday night drinks for not just us, but all of our colleagues from Sydney. A couple of days prior to that, we had flirted so much on the phone. We had hinted at each other that we would hook up that night. On Friday night when I arrived, he called me gorgeous, and our eyes were on each other big time. We were getting a lot of crap that night from our colleagues. One guy who was very close to my twin, he even had said he could feel our energy, and you two need to hurry up and just kiss. And then my twin's response to me had been a smile and a look in his eye. And he said, we'll be doing that later. An hour later, I went to the ladies, and when I returned, I felt an energy shift so dark that I became rattled. It was weird, and my twin was being weird, cold, icy, like a switch had been flipped. I felt lost, confused, and unwelcome. He hit on girls in front of me. He even said, you're so jealous, aren't you? I knew it was deliberate. When I finally approached him and said I thought you and I were going to be together tonight, and why are you acting this way? You seem angry at me. He retaliated, angry? You don't affect me, Riri. I'm going to call you Riri. Angry, that's funny because I'm going to call this lady Riri because Rihanna, that song is We Fell in Love in a Hopeless Place. Right, and that's the one song that my twin has sent me, but he only sent me that snippet, and that feels exactly like here, you know. So he felt like this is a hopeless play. They fell in love, but it's hopeless, right? That's what his energy was giving off. So he also told me he had been joking this whole time, and that he would never hook up with me because we were colleagues. See, we fell in love in a hopeless place. Our time at work after that night became like harassment and bullying. We both copped it from others. I forgave him for that because I could feel the same torment that was inside of me and him. People just didn't stop teasing us. He would see me at work events later in the evening and in the year and pretend I didn't even exist. I was invisible and he was like ice. I'd even used those words via message to him. He chose to go along with his workmates instead of sticking up for me, and it hurt because I'd been falling in love with him. Over the last 6 years, he had also been with other girls and had his first real relationship with another girl which lasted almost 3 years. And only because the universe never let me forget him did I keep up the friendship. Continuously me messaging him, never him. Which is why if I get a message from him now, which would be a miracle, and though he always responded to my messages before our final fallout, and we had repaired a lot of the damage, eventually in 2018 he went too far and destroyed me, which pushed me into my soul alignment. To date, I haven't spoken to him since June 2018. The last thing he said to me was, I feel so sorry for you, and the words pathetic and desperate. It's so, that is so hurtful when they say, because that happens a lot in the twin flame dynamic. They say things that are so, cutting. And that's what it does. It shines a light on what you need to heal, and that can not be easy. So, in that last communication, he called out the biggest self-criticism that I had about myself. That I'm not worth anything because I hadn't been able to get a man and to keep him. His words hit me so deep that I fell into the biggest dark night of the soul and my whole world collapsed. My puppy died. Oh my God, I can't imagine. I lost 3 jobs. I was broke. I lost him. I was losing friends. I was an arsehole and I hated myself. I was mean to people. I was arrogant, conceited, self-entitled, and I was always defensive. My whole life I had been those things. It was so dark, I did contemplate suicide. I knew I wouldn't have gone through with it, but I had asked God to take my life away, and that is just as bad. I did not want to live anymore, and not because of him, but because I hated who I was. So sad. And that same night in June 2018, when he called me desperate, that was the day I received my first telepathic message from his higher self. Please forgive me. I thought I was crazy. Even though I knew about TFs, I didn't know about telepathy. And I madly started the search if telepathy was a twin flame thing. But even so, I blocked him out of my mind and heart only until July of this year, 2019. During the gap, I know I'm a different person. I healed massively. I love me because I'm kinder, I eat better, I have light in my heart, I don't get triggered anymore. I've had a complete ego death. I needed it, believe me. I'm grateful to him and the divine. So in July 2019, all of a sudden, DM 5D started chasing me again. Dreams, syncs, signs. I began getting songs in my mind that said messages like, I'm so sorry, a lot, and that I can't stop thinking about you. And the girl that got away, also that he is coming home soon. All because I surrendered to God, and that was the biggest epiphany I had. I told God that I would forgive DM only because God wanted me to. You see, even though my twin might not know it in 3D yet, he has already been granted his miracle, forgiveness. Because I was certain when he had first hurt me that it was the last time, and then I would never let him back in my life, and that I was prepared to feel the full weight of separation, despair and heartbreak without ever forgiving him. Then the Lionsgate happened, and wow, I was guided to you at this time. And here we are, one very strong and healed divine feminine, and one divine masculine who is very sorry but still hasn't made contact. But I feel it is coming soon. My telepathy is strong now. This morning I got Always on My Mind by Elvis, and things are moving fast, I think. So she says, if you get this far, I am very grateful, as I have not ever been able to share my story with any friends or family. They usually just say he's an asshole and move on from him. They don't know any better, though I should just keep everything to myself. I can truly say I'm grateful for everything nasty ever said, because I am happy with everything that has transpired within myself, and more blessings are coming. God is on fire. And now for the syncs about what you channeled in your healing. So, are you ready? The song, You're the One That I Want, that was one of my favourite songs as a kid, and I used to watch this scene on repeat so much that I would damage the VHS tapes. Just this scene, by the way, not the whole movie. Okay, so crazy symbolic to letting go of the old self. You know, Sandy in that film goes through her complete transformation to unlock that goddess within, you know, the fiery side of herself. So the ice and him are all over this story I just told you. The third one, when I was first guided to your channel, the first video I watched is related to the show Once Upon a Time, about the heart which was missing, and there is mention of ice. And then for the fourth one, about 2 months ago I saw in mind a wedding invitation with 2 dinosaurs, one a plant eater and one a meat eater. And I thought, what a cute idea. And I told my twin in my heart that if we ever get married, then as I thought about it more, I remembered in passing that I had seen one of your videos about a dinosaur story. So I went home and I began searching like a crazy lady through your videos, only not to find it right away. Eventually, I found it again, and I knew it was a big part of my TF journey. And here you are again showing it to me. Thank you so much. Oh, I've got shivers go all through me. Thank you so much. You are very dear to me, soul sister. Wow, I mean, what can I say? I think, what an amazing story, what an amazing lady, what an amazing person to be sharing this journey with, because her story is so true for so many. You know, the healing process is dark, it can be super challenging, but out the other side there is an amazing story of love and light. So I hope that helps. I just hope that shows just how crazy the healings can be, and how synchronistic and how amazing it is that we are all coming together super strong in our telepathy. Okay, bye.